You might feel stuck, but what you're really experiencing is confusion. And confusion comes from seeing things incorrectly. When you feel stuck, you maybe think you need to move towards a new plan, a new direction, or even experience a new feeling. But getting unstuck doesn't start with motivation, it starts with finding clarity for yourself in order to move forward. Let me explain this. Say, for example, you aim to wake up earlier every day and you think, oh, I just need a little bit more motivation, then I'll wake up earlier. And then you watch motivational videos late at night. You maybe even put an alarm just to keep you going to get up earlier. And all of this is driven by motivation. You feel like, yes, it's going to work. And then the morning comes. Sorry, my laptop's in the way here. Morning comes, you start your first challenge in waking up earlier, and the bed feels warm. You're like, I'm not ready to do this, or all the excuses start to come up now. You might even feel like, what's even the purpose of me doing it? Or I'll do it tomorrow. It's not that important. See, motivation's down, so no movement happening. But if you have clarity of what you do and why you do something purposefully, then it's not based on your feelings in what you do. It's based on what you need to do to go forward. That's why these things, they work normally for a week or so, sometimes a bit longer depending on what it is, and then it fades. People start as well with New Year's resolutions. I don't know why there's still a thing. I mean, I'm not sure if many people keep it as religiously as they make believe. Because what is a New Year's resolution? Is it just, oh, the New Year comes and then you start something new? But the point is, how long do you keep up with it? I think the idea should be, how long can I keep up with my New Year's resolution? Like from January to December. I think that should be the new challenge. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here. So in reality, motivation didn't even fail you. Motivation was just used as the wrong vehicle to get you unstuck, basically. Motivation wasn't designed to create or to hold you committed to something. For that, you really need clarity and a new perspective, or a different perspective, or even a better perspective on things to go forward. Then the real issue is a distorted perspective. Let's explore this a little bit further. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. This principle highlights to everyone the danger and outcome of, maybe ignorantly, the disregard of guidance and instruction. Imagine that you're traveling on this path. You come up to a crossroad, which means you're gonna have to make a decision of some sort. And you have different signposts leading in different directions, giving you the information on where they lead. And whilst you have that information, imagine you just go like, I know this is the way this one leads me. I'll take the unknown path. I'll just go this way. I know this is the direction I should take. I should go right, but let me go left. Let's see. If you do that with the choices in your life, that's not ignorance. You were informed, and you still choose another path. So as good as your intention was to explore and I'll just see, in reality, this can have serious consequences. It is always good to have clarity and make informed choices as you go gradually into life. You know, your choices have to be informed, otherwise you can end up anywhere and the consequences can be sour. No matter how sincere your intentions might be to be adventurous, you most likely will find yourself on the wrong road. Let's relate to this story for a few minutes. Now Jacob's well was there. Jesus, therefore, being wearied with his journey, sat thus on the well, and it was about the 6th hour. There cometh a woman of Samaria to draw water. Jesus said to her, Give me to drink. So it was around noon at the heat of the day that this woman comes to fetch water at the well. Note that in those days, and according to those customs, it was customary for water to be fetched, or it is customary for water to be fetched at cooler times of the day. You know, it's too hot to labor unless in an emergency. That is just not the timing to be where people find themselves at the well. What is the reason that she is going at the well at this time of the day when it's not customary or convenient to do so? At least we know that no one else than Jesus was at the well, and he was a passerby because he did not live in the area. So as a passerby, he was not a usual or a regular consumer of the water of this well, which means that on all the other days that she visits the well, no one would be there, just her, which sounds like choosing to be isolated for a reason. Was she hiding or avoiding other people? Perhaps. I mean, just like everyone else, she'd prefer to fetch water as well in the cool of the day, I'm sure, instead of in the heat. And maybe she experienced isolation because of herself or her community or because of her circumstances. But let's continue. So Jesus sat there at the well, and he was being available, because you can imagine, if it's not coincidental, nothing is coincidental with God, that he is in the right space at the right time. I would like to think that he's also there in your situation, in my situation, when we feel isolated or confused. He's there ready to get our attention. And we see that he's the one that speaks to her first in these verses. He's requesting of her water. And as we continue reading, then said the woman of Samaria unto him, How is it that thou, being a Jew, askest drink of me, which am a woman of Samaria? For the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans. So she starts a dialogue questioning about him approaching her, because it's like unheard of. It's a surprise and a shock to her. And we continue in verse 10. Jesus answered and said unto her, If thou knewest the gift of God, and who it is that said unto thee, Give me to drink, thou wouldest have asked of him, and he would have given thee living water. The woman said unto him, Sir, thou hast nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. From whence then hast thou that living water? Art thou greater than our father Jacob, which gave us the well, and drank thereof himself, and his children, and his cattle? So her interest is now awakened as her curiosity to learn more grows. So far in this dialogue, the woman's perspective hasn't changed. It hasn't shifted. But Jesus is patiently taking the time to answer her questions and to basically lead her to the point where he knows that she needs to be in clarity. Jesus answered and said unto her, Whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again, but whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. If we embrace God's truth, we will become unstuck, and we don't have to go through unnecessary repeated cycles. You know those that bind us like chains? You're just stuck. Every time the same thing happens, every time you give the same response, every time it has the same outcome. But we don't shift our perspective, and our growth and progress is stunted in every area of our life. The woman said unto him, Sir, give me this water, that I thirst not, neither come hither to draw. Jesus said unto her, Go, call thy husband, and come hither. The woman answered and said, I have no husband. Jesus said unto her, Thou hast well said, I have no husband. For thou hast 5 husbands, and he whom thou hast is not thy husband. In that sayest thou truly. The woman said unto him, Sir, I perceive that thou art a prophet. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that in Jerusalem is the place where men are to worship. Jesus said unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh, when ye shall neither in this mountain, nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship in spirit the Father, in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. The woman said unto him, I know that Messiah cometh, which is called Christ. When he is come, he will tell us all things. Jesus said unto her, I that speak unto thee am he. She ultimately concludes that she needs what Jesus has to offer at this point. And now that Jesus has her full attention and desire for change, he invites her to align or realign her life according to the truth that she now knows, to worship him according to that truth, to obey him according to that truth, to trust him according to that truth. And many of the Samaritans of that city believed on him for the saying of the woman, which testifieth, He told me all that I ever did. That was her testimony. You need to be led to a position to recognize your current state or situation in order to progress further, in order to change our perspective or perspectives and grow so that we can reach the higher aims that God actually has for us. So our own ideas and solutions provide only a temporary fix, and this leads us to being stuck or feeling stuck, the cycles that keep repeating. But the perspective of God's word show us principles that, if applied, when applied, help us and allow us to be fruitful and burst out with new purposes, not only for us, but also for those that we influence, our network, our surroundings. Change your perspective. This is the way to become unstuck. Follow the Bible principle, practice it, and see for yourself.